Oh, hey. Sorry, I was just using my my Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer from Manscaped. Speaking of Manscaped, support for the Awkward Tapes is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code AWKWARD at manscaped.com. And if my math is correct, that's about 8 million balls. So Manscaped recently has sent all of us for the free Performance Package 4.0. And it's got a lot in here, and
it does.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
So, we got the, let's see here. We have the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, which helps reduce nicks. I mean, when you're shaving down there, it's it can be a very stressful time.
Dude, it helps, man. I love this thing.
Yeah, it helps reduce nicks. It helps it not be as stressful. It makes shaving more fun, honestly. That thing's a cool little thing.
Plus, we have the Crop Reviver here.
Yeah, we got the Crop Reviver. We have the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, which smells fantastic.
Fantastic.
It's got obviously the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer that I was using in the beginning. Forgot, we were doing a podcast. It comes with Performance Boxer Briefs. Presley, you have those?
Oh yeah, and those are anti-chafing too, which is nice. Definitely helps.
And it comes with a nice travel bag, which Evan has to hold all your goodies. I love that travel bag.
Yeah,
it's
really nice.
Very nice quality. It's a lot better than what I thought. It's very nice.
Yeah, very. It's got a nice feel to it.
It does.
It's like leather. Ink.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
But this I really like this Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. This thing clears you out.
Yeah, man. I think I mentioned in the last podcast, like I didn't realize how much my nose hair was clogging my breathing and how much it was affecting that. When I finally got up in there and got rid of all that hair, I breathe so much better now.
Yeah. Yeah, but Manscaped has a lot to offer, and we really, really like their stuff, and we think you will too. So you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code AWKWARD at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code AWKWARD. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. So, welcome to the Awkward Tapes, and prepare yourself for a session of awkwardness.
All right, now that Shmev is done whacking his weeds, let's get right into Presley thoughts. Oh, great intro. Number 1, Fruit Loops are all the same flavor. I'm sorry.
True.
Yeah, they
I'm
are.
sorry.
It actually is factually
Are you
true.
sure?
Yep.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter what you think. They're all the same flavor.
If I blindfolded you, you couldn't tell a difference.
They get you with the colors.
Placebo effect.
It's kind of like lemonade.
Whoa. Wait, what about Fruity Pebbles? Is that the same thing?
I assume so. I bet.
Probably.
That's like my favorite cereal. Man.
Oh, they're both good.
Yeah.
Which I haven't had them in years, but I don't eat cereal as much as I used to, honestly.
Yeah,
I kind of wish I did.
Yeah, I couldn't do it anymore in the mornings. I started doing it as like a dessert, like right after dinner.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. You want a little story of cereal?
Oh, no.
You might have heard this before.
Maybe.
So when I was younger, I used to love bran flakes for whatever reason. That was like my go-to.
You
I was
are
like,
old.
Bland
I know.
child.
I was like in elementary school. I used to eat the crap out of bran flakes. Well, we were going on a trip one time, me and my family, and before we left, I was in like elementary school, and I had 3 bowls of bran flakes before we left.
Oh.
And
All right.
I had to go, and we had to pull over, and I think my dad ran with me to the bathroom. I made it, and I was fine. But
man.
that's what did it, was all those bran flakes. Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, Fruit Loops, they're all the same.
You ever thought about mixing them? Because I'm just now thinking
done
about that. That might not be bad.
You could do that.
I've done it. When you start to run out of one cereal, I would combine it with another.
Oh.
It was
Another
funky.
thing is too that I've thought about, and you let us know what you think in the comments. I think it'd be fun to do like a snack segment. You know what I mean? Like us try different foods.
That would be cool, but you got to think, like, the people that aren't watching, that'd be kind of weird.
I don't know. I mean, I find
That'd
those
be
interesting.
That'd be ASMR. That's not an ASMR channel.
No.
Fair enough.
We could be.
Nope.
Nope. Not doing that.
Number 2.
Number 2. That was so weird.
Welcome to the awkward taste.
yeah.
If you didn't already know. Oh, okay, we're done.
All right, we're done.
Writing a diary is considered sane and respectable, but talking to yourself out loud is considered bizarre.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I like that.
I mean, I don't really know what all to say about that.
Have you guys ever kept like a diary or a journal or something?
No, actually.
Not really.
I think I tried once.
Sometimes when I get
ago.
like emotionally distraught, I'll start jotting down my thoughts so that I can like what?
I'm sorry.
What? Are y'all making fun of my mental health? I am
Wesley just started laughing. I don't know.
What is so funny about that?
He slowly looked at me and just started laughing. I don't know.
What? No. What is so funny about that?
You said it so serious. It's the way you said it. Whenever I'm emotionally distraught, you get emotionally distraught? Oh,
Yeah, I do.
He's a human.
I'm sorry.
Russ is making fun of you.
All right, so Presley doesn't care about mental health. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I was gonna say, I don't keep a diary, but I love to go out in public and just talk to myself.
Like you walk into an elevator, you face
Yep.
the wrong way, just like September 15th.
I really need to do
2012.
chores today.
Could you imagine how terrifying that'd be to get into an elevator with someone and they just state the date and time and then start talking to themselves and then narrating the other people around them?
October 12th, 2022. Riding in an elevator with a weird-looking dude.
I wish he would save it. I wish he would shave
I think
his
his feet smell, but I can't pinpoint where this is coming from.
Oh my gosh.
He keeps looking at me. I don't know what to do. I may have to resort to my
moving
karate
on.
tactic.
head. What shot? I karate chopped him.
He is attacking me. I am in the hospital. All right, we're done. All right.
Speaking of, the voice in your head doesn't breathe
You know why? It's not a human being.
because it's in your head.
Yeah, because it's not living.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next one.
Well, no, hold on. I do have a thought from that.
Yeah.
You know how you have the voice in your head?
Yeah.
Who is the voice in your head?
Usually your voice, like out, what you
Not
sound like out
necessarily.
loud.
Not necessarily.
No. I'm pretty sure.
There have been studies done about this, and a lot of times, like the voice in your head is not actually the voice in your head.
Oh.
That's really interesting because I'd be interested to know how scientists get in my head and hear the voice that I'm.
It's not like that. It's not like that. It's just
Oh, I know, I'm
like
making-
that. You just sit down, you really think about something, and then you just try to like hear what it sounds like in your head. A lot of times, it doesn't sound like their own self.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Huh.
I had a friend in high school. We were talking about this before, and he's like, for some reason, the voice in my head is our Spanish teacher. I don't know how to get it. I don't know.
That is weird.
That doesn't even fundamentally make sense. It's not like he grew up hearing that voice.
Well, maybe just
Number 4.
that was crisp.
If you don't smoke pot because you're afraid it'll make you paranoid, you're experiencing the side effect without even smoking.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's I like that. That's funny. Oh man.
You would apply really well to this. You're
would.
paranoid right now
I
just
would.
about thinking about it.
I can't
Yeah.
even imagine being on drugs.
We talked about
my
it, like
goodness. No.
the different effects of what it'd be like if we all did different drugs. I can't imagine what Leighton would be like if he did acid.
Episode 15. Look out.
Oh man.
Leighton would think he's literally the Flash incarnate.
I am zooming.
He's like crawling. Zach, I got a question.
Oh.
Oh no.
Why aren't blueberries blue?
They are.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Blueberries are blue.
Let's look it
You
up.
are
Aren't they purple?
Yeah. You got a little purplish hue.
a dark blue, Bubba.
Would you feel any better if I told you that the inside of a blueberry was neither blue nor purple, and that it's kind of like a grape and it's just kind of like clearish?
No, it doesn't help. It's a blueberry and it's blue.
No.
That's my stance.
So I'm curious. People need to start a debate or something. Just, are blueberries blue? Are blueberries blue?
They're not blue.
We did.
Wait. No, they are blue. They are blue. They're blue.
The truth
they are
revealed.
blue.
Oh my god.
Got 'em.
Got him.
You big dummy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, never mind. No need to comment anymore. I'm joking. Still comment. Just Zach is wrong.
Number 6. 100 years ago, everyone owned a horse, and only the rich owned cars. Today, everyone owns cars, but only the rich own horses.
That is so true.
Wow.
True.
Unless you're in Texas. I feel like,
guess.
especially with gas prices right now.
Oh yeah, true.
About to get me a horse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
you know, I'm gonna start taking a horse everywhere. I'm gonna get that rich and just I'm not gonna own a car. I'm gonna have a stallion.
Gonna get rid of Maggie?
Yeah.
Maggie's the name of his car.
Yeah, it's a beautiful car.
Yeah.
It's not. It's
No,
ugly, but
it's not.
Well, it's beautiful in spirit.
It's sentimental.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should be proud or surprised that there was no horsepower jokes there. I was really expecting that.
Oh, missed opportunity. Well,
Maybe next time.
well, you know what I say to that?
What?
Number 7.
I like it.
All right.
If a spoon was made of gold, would it still be called silverware?
Ah, I get it. I understand because
Okay, explain that.
silverware is silver.
Yes.
All right, number 8.
Goldware.
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 Yeah.
What is that saying? It's like fed with a golden spoon. Is that literally the saying?
I've never
I
heard
thought
that
the
saying.
saying
Never
was
heard
a
it.
silver spoon.
I'd love to be.
Silver spoon. Okay.
Hence
well,
silverware.
I'd love to be fed by a golden spoon though. If you don't mind.
What?
I would like to be hand fed. That'd be fun. You know?
All right.
I would like to
Classic
feed myself.
Greek paintings, like people getting fed with grapes. That sounds
Right.
relaxing.
Yeah.
And
That's
I mean, not by us, but
That's-
you can find someone on the
or
street.
you know, blueberries, blue berries.
purple berries. Number 8. The hospital where you were born in is the only building you left without entering.
Oh my gosh.
Actually,
Well,
no.
it depends on how you
Yes,
think of
I mean yes, that's a fun thought. But Evan, I'll just let you.
I was just gonna say this doesn't apply to me because I wasn't born in a hospital.
You weren't?
I was a
Never
home
mind.
birth.
that. Nice.
No way.
How was that?
You didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
How was that? Well, I mean, I came into the world. It wasn't not specifically the home birth part,
about
but
that?
just the birth for my mom in general. It wasn't great for her. It took her over 50 hours for me.
Are
Love
you
Mom. Thank you.
serious?
Yeah, no, it wasn't great. I'm a bit of a miracle baby in terms of both being born and my mom even being able to get pregnant and such. Just I'm a bit of a miracle baby all around.
See, you're just a walking, talking miracle.
So special.
And
50 hours.
no, let's go.
Yeah,
that's
like,
all I
can't.
had.
I can't imagine that either. Like women, good. Thank you. Like moms out there. Yeah.
Extra shout out to the waffle lady. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you, waffle lady. We love you.
Good job, Presley.
Thanks. That was
Well-
actually 8 instead of 7.
Yeah.
So
I have a little surprise, guys.
Okay.
Got a Zach thought for today.
Yeah.
All right.
no.
Today's Zach thought, a long debated topic for Evan and I.
Why are you staring at me?
And
Why is
Presley,
he
you're gonna
touching me?
agree with me. Hey, I got my arm around you. It's okay.
I guess.
All right, I got you. Okay.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yawning is contagious, and I cannot be convinced otherwise. Agreed?
I absolutely
Yeah.
agree.
Yep.
See?
Yes.
See? It is contagious. This is my personal attack for the day. You just yawned. There it is.
I'm not going to do it.
It's your turn.
I'm not.
No, you're not.
Come on.
I'll do it.
You're gonna.
He's
You
gonna do
wanna. See,
I mean,
here's the thing.
I don't know if it's like, like proven officially, but
I think it's like a sympathy thing or something like that. They did some like study with psychopaths, I think, and they don't feel emotional. I'm actually dead serious.
You're not helping my argument here.
I am, because like if you're like a normal sane person, then you're like, I don't know, it's like a sympathy thing. Like that someone's yawning, they're
So-
tired, so you.
So it's a sympathetic yawn?
I
What?
guess.
I'm not
Presley,
being.
Everyone's yawning now except
I
for
don't
me.
know.
What is wrong? I don't.
haven't yawned either.
The thing is that I acknowledge for most people it's considered like contagious or whatever. Like how Zach and Presley just keep yawning back and forth because they don't have enough air. But for me, I've never once had it to where someone yawns around me and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna yawn now. Like, no, that's not a thing. Not for me.
Not people don't consciously do it all the time.
does that mean you're not sane?
Are you a psychopath? Is that
my
what you're
gosh.
telling us?
Someone could have told me that, and they could be completely wrong. But I heard it somewhere. So,
If it me, I'll be a psychopath if I have to.
Look, I'm not doing this out of sympathy. I'm just yawning because it's like 11 at night at the time of this recording.
Yeah, we normally don't record this late at night.
oh, shit.
That was a half long.
There
yawn.
it is.
Halfway doesn't
Anyway.
count.
Well, thanks for the surprise thought. So,
Oh my gosh.
Presley,
Stop yawning.
you said
It's not on purpose. I promise. I was already tired.
I
I'm
half
sorry.
believe you.
You know what? We interrupted Shmev. We hurt his feelings. We should apologize. Shmev, you.
I did nothing.
how many times has this happened to me?
I don't know. It's been a good
At least,
You love and
10.
appreciate it.
yeah.
about 8 to 10 times.
Okay, Shmev.
So Presley,
Oh.
you said recently you've been having a lot of dreams about
have.
Spider-Man,
I have.
right?
Yeah.
Well, like dreams in general are cool.
Well,
But like, okay, how do these dreams go when you have Spider-Man dreams?
like okay, so in the dream, for out of context, I think we've talked about this on the podcast before actually, but I have dreams where first person, I am Spider-Man. And I will be able to have all the full abilities, swing around. I'll be in a city, and it's awesome. You have the super strength and everything. I mean, it's mostly just swinging around. That's what's most fun about it. There might be some people to beat up, but that's like, you know how you have like certain images of certain scenes from your dreams?
Yeah, you don't remember
That's-
it all, but you remember like key points.
I remember
yeah.
certain parts of it. Like I can kind of picture some of those times. It's pretty awesome.
Like, okay, what do you think those mean though?
I have no
Because
idea.
you know a lot. Okay, not all the time, but a lot of times there's meaning behind your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
You ever see those memes where like people say there's meaning behind your dreams? If you dream about this,
And it's
you're,
like my
you're depressed.
dreams,
And
and
yeah, this is my dream. It's like freaking Godzilla, SpongeBob terrorizing New York City.
I'll never forget this. One of the weirdest dreams I've ever had is
Godzilla, SpongeBob.
is that Slender Man was my uncle.
What?
Yeah, I was like I was like
my
13 or something, and so I was like at the end of our driveway, and at the end of our driveway, there's this tree line, tall trees and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like getting mail or something. I don't know. I was about to walk back to our house. I look up at this tree, and there's Slender Man. He's just like looking at me, and I run back to the house. I'm in my room. I hear a knock on the door, and it's Slender Man. And I'm like going crazy. I'm like yelling or whatever. And he starts talking. He's like, Evan, I'm your uncle.
What a turn of events.
I'm like, oh, really?
What does that
He's like,
mean?
Yeah. I don't think it means anything.
What does it mean?
No, I don't know.
I think you can overanalyze it if you want to.
Probably had too much sugar and had a weird dream or something that night.
You chow down on some extra toasted Cheez-Its and called it a night.
Sugar and Cheez-Its.
Is your uncle tall and thin?
He's tall. But he's not like thin, but he's not like that.
It's
I
just
have a
not-
few uncles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you,
Well,
now
which
you got
uncle was
Spider-Man.
it? I mean, you
Oh, I
don't
don't
have to
know.
say his
It was
name,
literally
but-
Slender Man.
So you don't even know which uncle?
No,
Okay.
it was literally Slender Man, like 8 feet or whatever, and just slim.
Well, I
Yeah.
gotta say, I don't think I've ever had a dream like that. But on a sadder note, I used to have reoccurring dreams.
Oh, me too.
For sure. Like, I remember the worst one I ever had was one where my brother and I were on this bus. And for whatever reason, it was a reoccurring dream when I was a kid. And we were on this bus, and we were looking around. I want to say it was like Washington, D.C. or something. And as a kid, I never saw Washington, D.C. But in my dream, I was like, oh, this is what it looks like. And so I was like on this tour bus with him. And the bus flips over out of nowhere, gets in a wreck, and my brother's dead.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I used to wake up in the middle of the night and go, and I'm like, Trey, I love you. And he'd be like, get out of my room. I love you, bro.
oh.
It's all your fault.
Slate, do you have many dreams?
Hold on, I got a burp.
Oh, do it. You're good.
So you're not
I'm
gonna
back,
yawn.
guys.
What? That wasn't a burp.
I did it internally.
So dreams.
So,
I did an internal burp.
so dreams. I have a couple of dreams. The most like common dream that I have is where I'm getting chased. Y'all have these?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's always like something different each time. Like it doesn't even make sense. Like it could be just like a person I've never seen before in my entire life. And I just started getting chased by him. And it's pretty terrifying. But I always try to like do some like parkour moves on them. Like
Parkour.
Jump over something, or I'll hide under a table. But they just know that I'm under the table, and they just keep. It's the worst.
I hate those dreams.
Yeah.
You ever have the dreams where you'll like something will happen and you'll just jolt awake in bed? It's like you've been levitating or something. And you just like, what happened?
Another dream that I've had pretty frequently actually is like I'm like running away, kind of in that scenario. I'm running away from something, but it's like I can't run fast enough.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe there's some meaning behind that. I don't know, whatever. Like you're not good enough, or you're not.
Yeah, maybe you're trying to do something and you just can't quite do it.
That's what it feels like, because I'm running as fast as I can, and the harder I try, the slower I am. And I'm like, ooh, that's deep. Until the point where I like can't even move, and I'm trying so hard.
You know, I've had dreams before where I can't like breathe very well, and I'll wake up and I'll be like face down in my pillow, and I'll be like, oh, that's why. But I just spent literally like the past 10 to 15 minutes struggling to breathe in this dream.
I just thought of a dream that I had. It was the strangest dream ever. So, okay, picture this.
Okay.
You see a toilet.
I'm gonna close my eyes.
Oh my!
Okay. I'm gonna close my eyes for
This was actually insane, okay? And so, you know, like those, I guess like at Disneyland or something, like all those slip and slides and tunnels that you go through. It was that inside of the toilet. So you would jump in, and inside was this just party. And it was just like boom, boom, boom. And you're sliding through, and you're just having a good time. And then I couldn't breathe, like what you said. Yeah. And I could see the toilet. And so I'm like looking up, and I'm like swimming. And I'm swimming. And I run out of air. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to die. I'm dead. And then I'm like, I choose to live. And I got out of there, and I'm like, I'm alive. So,
well, that's a new addition to Splash Mountain.
That dream also, it kind of seems like you're trying to get something.
Yeah.
You're just not quite there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know.
Well, have y'all had a dream where like you fall?
Yes, I was about to bring that up.
Where you fall, and then right when you hit the ground, you wake up?
Yep. I had this one.
I have a lot of those.
I can still picture it in the first house that I grew up in. It was these going down the stairs. It's a pretty like long way down, a lot of stairs. But I remember in this dream, for whatever reason, I don't know why I did this. I came out of my room, I started going down the stairs, and for whatever reason, I just grabbed the rail, jumped over it, and then just fell into this black pit of just darkness.
Yeah.
And then that's when I jolted awake.
Mm-hmm. I have one. I remember this so vividly. I was around 10 years old. It was right before we moved houses. And I had a dream that my brother and I were up and getting ready for school to get on the bus. And he didn't want to walk down the stairs. And so he had like 2 textbooks in his hand and stood over the rail of our house, which like we had one of those houses, like when you walked in, you could see the upstairs, and to your left was a staircase that went up. So like you could see upstairs. I had a dream. He stood on both of his textbook. He said, meet you down there, and twirled down to the bottom like a ballerina with 2 textbooks in his hand. And I was like, how did you do that?
Are you sure he's not magic?
I know. And so I woke up the next morning and I was like, man, that was a crazy dream, but it felt so real. And I was like, did it happen? And so I literally went up to Trey and I was like, dude, and this is how I phrased it. Did you twirl down the stairs like a ballerina this morning?
He's like, yeah, I'm magic.
I remember he had this white flip phone and he looked over at me and then looked back at his phone, did not answer me at all. He was so uninterested, but I don't know why. It's been a while since I've thought about that.
Why do you have a lot of dreams about Trey?
Well, I looked up to him a lot when I was younger. Not so much anymore. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Well, I was gonna say, the reason, and then I had a dream I wanted to bring up. But the reason, so like when you're falling and then you wake up immediately when you hit the ground, it's because your brain can't comprehend the idea of death and what death is like. So right when you hit the ground and you die, you don't see the rest of your dream, so you wake up.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Yeah. But one of my earliest dreams that I had, there's a lot of dreams that I remember now from my childhood for some reason. But one of my earliest dreams was when I was younger, I was in my bed and I went to sleep and I woke up and I was like staring. I had like this Blue's Clues thing on my door.
Ooh, cool.
And so I woke up and I was just like looking at the Blue's Clues thing on my door. And I was just sitting there. Well, then it's almost like my eyelids like opened again. And then I was sitting and laying in the exact same position, looking at my Blue's Clues thing on my door. It was almost like I was dreaming, just like some just extremely normal thing. And that's what it was just me laying in bed.
Weird.
Yeah.
Do you ever have those dreams where you're asleep and you're dreaming and you know that you're dreaming?
Those are lucid dreams, right?
Yes.
Is that what
think
that's
so.
called?
Wait.
Or is that something
I think
else?
so.
I thought lucid dreams was like when you can do whatever you want inside your dreams.
Yeah, like you can purposefully make yourself when you fall asleep go right into a dream where
Well,
you're
that's-
conscious
well,
you're
not
dreaming.
really.
Oh, okay.
Possible. It's
Lucid dreams are when you know that you're dreaming while you're asleep.
Oh,
Really?
Well, I've had that happen quite
Yeah.
a bit actually.
I've had that happen too, actually. And it's kind of weird because, like, you sit there and you're like, I have no ability to change anything about what's going on. And then before you're able to, like, even finish the thought, it's just over.
Well, sometimes I have been able to change it, but then other times I've just not. Like I'm,
Just
not.
spectating
Like I either have all the control over the dream at that point or none at all. But I know I'm still dreaming, but it's still frustrating.
Have you ever had a dream to where, like, so like what you said with Spider-Man, you're like in first person or whatever.
Yeah.
Have you ever had seeing yourself or something else happen, like zoomed out, like camera?
Yeah,
looking
like
in?
third person.
Yeah.
Almost
third
like you're
person.
seeing a movie.
But then
Yeah.
it's like normal, and you
Yeah,
don't question
it's
it.
normal, and like you see yourself. Isn't that weird?
I don't know what they're doing with their hand motions.
I was telling him
yeah.
to angle his mic down because, like, he couldn't get good signal.
Oh,
Well, I had a dream one time. Speaking of like dying in your dreams or whatever.
yeah.
I had a dream. This is when I went to college I went to, and I was like walking downtown, and I had passed this corner, and there was a guy just standing there with a gun pointed at me, and he shot me.
No.
And I like
He
laid
did.
on the ground, and I was like just sitting there, and then it just went black, and then I woke up, and when I was in my dream, my hand was like on my chest where I was shot. I woke up, and my hand was in that exact same spot.
Oh.
It was weird.
Weird.
Yeah.
I remember. Oh.
No, go. No,
Oh,
go
okay,
ahead.
this will be quick.
Strange.
I remember one time I had a dream that I was falling, like we had talked about earlier, and well, I had a bunk bed, and it turns out I woke up and I was falling.
Oh, wow.
And I fell out of my bed. I cried so hard. I was probably like, I don't know, 6.
Like
Well, that's-
18.
Yeah, about 18.
It was actually this morning.
Yeah, I've had a bunk bed for quite some time now. You know.
You don't now?
He was making a joke.
He was
Presley.
joking.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, all right. This,
Sorry, it's late.
the
It's okay.
craziest
I
one
missed
I've
it.
ever had, and you remember this.
Oh,
I might
yeah.
have talked about this on the podcast before. I can't remember, but
I think
it's
you
okay.
have.
It's okay. So, I had this dream, same dream, 3 nights in a row. And so the first night we were at this camp, and someone was like, "All right, we're gonna split everyone into groups. We're gonna look for this thing." And so like, he would like put like me and Presley and Leighton in one dream, or not one dream, in one group.
Okay.
And then right before we went out to see this thing, or find this thing, the guy would look at me and he'd go, "Evan, you have to find it." And I was like, okay, I didn't know. Well, like the next night, it was the same exact dream, but it was 2 different people. Night after that, same exact dream, 2 different people. And it started to scare me a little bit. It was just weird. It was always, every time, like everyone was looking right at me. And they were like, "Evan, you have to find this."
It says here on Gurgle, it says reoccurring dreams that are dreams that repeat more than once. No duh. They often have themes such as confrontations, being chased, or falling. You can have neutral reoccurring dreams or reoccurring nightmares. You can have reoccurring nightmares, but it may be due to an underlying mental health condition, substance use, or certain medication.
Well, I'm not taking Adderall anymore.
Well, come to find out, that's when I was struggling with the idea of should I transfer schools or not when I had that dream. And so I ended up going to the school I wanted to transfer to. But it was almost like that, I don't know, but like that thought was on my mind all the time. It's like, should I do this? Should I do it? I don't know. But I ended up doing it. But
You found it.
I found it.
You found it.
You found it.
Schmev,
Hey,
you have to.
Oh.
Have to.
am I asleep right now?
Havet.
You have to. I won't touch your hair. Yeah.
Have to.
Find this.
Just say it.
Yeah.
Find this.
But anyways, dreams are crazy, and they can have some some dark meaning behind them.
Does anyone have another one?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Well, dang it. I maybe shouldn't share this thing because this one's a little sad. But I don't want to end on that note.
Well, we're going to go to a different segment. After
Okay,
this. This
he'll
will
be
all right.
fine. By the way, that Spider-Man dream that still happens like pretty frequently.
That's cool.
I know you said that it happened to you like when you were younger. No,
It
I still
hasn't
have
happened
that.
in a while.
I've had it happen with Iron Man, Batman, Spider-Man. It's pretty cool. But one of the more recent dreams I had that just like really freaked me out. It was one of them I didn't realize was a dream. I don't remember the entirety of it, but I can still picture some of it. I don't know where it came from, but there was this van, and I knew it had some explosive in it. Some massive bomb. I've told you about this. Yeah. Some massive bomb or something that was going to go off, but I couldn't get anyone to believe me that it was in the van. Like family members, friends, everything, for whatever reason, all decided to go on vacation because we were all on the beach. And I remember driving it to the beach. Actually, they were away from the beach. Then I drove it to the beach to get it away, and then suddenly there everyone was. I was like, well, that didn't really do anything. So I drove it into the ocean.
Whoa. Okay.
And then I got away. I started running away, trying to tell people. And again, no one would listen. So I kept running and running and running, thinking I'd try and get away. Well, I hear it go off behind me, and I hear this big boom and explosion. I think this is real. I did not know this was a dream. I turn around, I see like this giant, like you see in the movie, some
Like the mushroom?
yeah, something like that. Except it was like this red wave that was coming towards me, and I remember it like pushed me back up in the air, and I was falling like this, and then I thought I was dead. I thought, all right, this is it. This is how I go on the beach.
When was this?
This was probably like 6-7 months ago.
Was there something that you were trying to like tell people or warn about?
Not that I know of.
No, or something you were trying to tell yourself and you wouldn't do?
Oh,
Listen, Presley,
deep.
we've been avoiding this for a long time. Me and you need to announce. I'm just kidding.
I was like, where are you going with this?
No one ever knows where Zach is going with this stuff.
No.
That's fair.
But it went black, and then I woke up. But it was black for a good period of time because I thought I died.
Right, and I've had those too. And a lot of times when I wake up from those, I can't remember them. But the amount of times I've woken up from a dream and I feel so relieved it wasn't real.
Yeah.
That's actually happened quite a bit recently, but I can't remember any of them.
See, that's happened to me more recently, but with social situations. Like I have this fear of being late to work or unprepared in general.
Yeah, I'm the same
I have
way.
fears of like showing late or you can't seem to get caught up or something like that, and then you wake up and you're like,
Yep.
oh, thank goodness that
Yeah.
wasn't real.
That has happened to me before where I've like dreamed of being late somewhere where I can't be late to.
Yeah.
And then I wake up to my alarm. I'm like, oh my goodness, thank goodness. Yeah. But dreams are crazy, and it's fun to think about like the backstory, not the backstory, but like the meaning to them and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, some of them probably just don't have meaning, like we're saying. Some of them are just I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
just-
for sure.
Have you heard the thing where you'll know if you're dreaming based on whether or not you can read?
No.
I saw
Can't
that somewhere.
read in dreams or
yeah,
something?
supposedly. But I tried that out once when I knew I was dreaming in a lucid dream. I tried reading something and I could. So
Interesting.
yeah, it wasn't like a complete sentence, but it was just something.
I think I remember like trying to read something in one of my dreams, and it didn't make sense.
Yeah,
Like I couldn't.
I don't know why that is, but
I don't remember.
I've
very well.
heard that somewhere. I don't know. Dreams are weird.
They are.
Interesting.
They are.
Well, guys, we saw the Batman movie recently.
Oh yeah.
If you have
my
if you have not
gosh,
watched the
yes.
Batman movie and you don't want spoilers, well, we are sorry. We're about to talk about it, so this is your warning. But if you have not seen it yet, we all approve of it and recommend it. We saw it twice. We saw
Back
it.
to
Yes,
back.
we saw it on a Friday Saturday and a Sunday night.
Yep.
Yeah, Saturday
Back to
and a
back.
Sunday night. And just initial thoughts.
6 hours of Batman.
Well, 3 hours. The movie's 3 hours. But
Yeah.
we saw it twice. So 6 hours.
Zach.
Okay, so I feel like the biggest thing that I would recommend people do if you haven't seen it yet, do not go in with any expectations. I mean, this story has been told so many times now, and I feel like it's really easy to compare it to your favorite Batman, which what I can only assume will be the Arkham series.
That's a video game.
He
Nice.
means the Dark Knight.
Dark
The
Knight
Dark Knight
series.
series. Sorry.
Christian Bale.
Used to play that video game. My bad. Like that was by far, in my opinion, the best Batman. So going into it, of course, I had like presumptions. Is that the right
Yeah.
word?
Yeah.
Like as far as what it was
Had a
going to
movie
be.
to live up to.
Yeah, of course. But the main thing I realized after watching it the first time was that I had hyped it up in my head way too much because I love Batman. And after watching it the second time, I realized like the way that they played the Batman character.
It was different.
It was different. It was edgy. It was new, refreshing. I feel like that was the best movie. Like,
not the best, but,
I have
yeah.
so many thoughts.
Well, it's absolutely the best they could have done.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, this story has been told so many times, but I liked how it wasn't an origin story.
You're right.
But
Yes,
it's not like
yes,
Ben
yes.
Affleck, who, when you see him in that DC crap universe, he's already been Batman for like 1,000 years, and you see an old Batman. This is like year 2, and I
Yeah.
think they referenced that
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
or 3 different
Yes.
times,
Yeah.
which was very cool to see.
And this was the first time I saw this somewhere where, like, Batman itself is like this dark person, but then Bruce Wayne is like the other half of him, and he's like this happy like person out in public, whatever. And this was like the first Bruce Wayne where like Bruce Wayne is just as dark as Batman is.
Yep.
And what I think is there's going to be a prequel, and
Yes.
it's going to show why Bruce Wayne and Batman are so messed up.
Or if they do it right, maybe a sequel, but with a lot of flashbacks.
Yeah.
Something that I saw was like in all the other ones, like obviously Bruce Wayne's more put together. He has that Bruce Wayne persona of being rich. He parties. He's got all these ladies around him. And then when he turns to Batman, he's like dark or whatever.
Yep.
And with this one, obviously, you can even see it in his face when he shows up, spoiler, to a funeral. And I guess he's got a lot on his mind. He's like looking at people. People are saying different things about the guy who, there's all these lies and they're corrupt or whatever. But you can just see and look at him. He walks the same. He acts the same. He has that same dull look on his
Yeah.
face. And so it kind of shows you like he's in the early stages of like figuring this thing out.
Yep.
Not only just with his persona or whatever of Bruce Wayne, but just like even the Batcave. It's like it's not totally put together. It's not super high tech. The Batmobile, it's not the most fancy or whatever. It's kind of shows you it's a work in progress, and it gives him room to grow, and hopefully in the next couple of movies you'll see him grow.
If there are
So-
more.
And maybe-
there better be.
Yeah.
Better be.
And-
they left it off to where it absolutely should.
Yes.
And develop his character as Bruce Wayne, because that kind of makes it less obvious of who he is.
Yeah.
They
And
can do that.
Another thing is too, and I forgot his name. Who was it that played it? It was the guy who played
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson. Okay, so like when I first saw him play that role in the movie, it seemed like they had really, just to be quite frank, wussified Batman. And the reason I say that is because they played his character more emotionally distraught and not understanding like his morals yet, and still trying to develop that because it was so early for him. And so I think that's rare to see that from Batman, because we've always seen him, at least in the movie series, whichever one you watched, as like he had already found his way. Even during the origin story, you knew where it was going and you knew what he was thinking and how he's going to get there. Whereas this one, you didn't know what he was thinking, why he was thinking it. Like he brought a certain edginess to the role that I was not expecting, and I really liked it. It was different. They did it very well.
Another thing, like what you're saying, like with the development and still figuring out who and what he needs to be or whatever, is like in the beginning, like he beats a bunch of people up. They're like, "Who are you?" or whatever. And he's like, "I'm Vengeance." And later on, you have the Riddler, his gang of people or whatever. He beats the mess out of this guy. They take off the mask, and he's like, "I'm Vengeance." It's like they're kind of like going after the same people, the corruption in the city and all that stuff. So then towards the end, as he's kind of like doing a voiceover, he kind of realizes like he needs to be more than just vengeance. Like the city needs like a symbol. They need like hope to rebuild the city. Like that's kind of cool because they're saying like he's doing this. He's vengeance. This other person who's like the bad guy, he's vengeance too, so it's kind of like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
It's just something to think about.
I like too, like, because, talking about it's year 2 and he's still new. I really like when they added, when he was about to jump off the building.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he was about to just take off. He sat there and was like, whoa, 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 whoa. He looked just like scared to jump off.
Yeah.
Took him a second. He did that little thing and he flew off. Well, then it looks like, oh, he's going to be fine. And then, bam, he hits that bridge or whatever it was.
That was great writing. I mean, I don't think I could have thought of that if I was on that writer's team.
Yeah, and then we're watching, that video the other day, and it's showing that, like, on the street, there's a point where you can see Riddler looking out the window,
literally
taking pictures of people, and you would not have known that. But like that's right where Batman like hit the bridge and fell and he flies off the building, and so it's like Riddler might have seen that whole thing take place because it was right there where he lived. It's really cool, like the little things they put in. But yeah, really good writing.
Very good.
Evan, do you have an opinion? I know you have an opinion, but I kind of want to hear it because we've done a lot of talking.
No, I'm just kind of letting you guys go. I liked the movie. I'm definitely the one of the group who liked it the least. Yeah, I would say definitely so, because the first time we watched it, I honestly wasn't a big fan. I just wasn't a fan overall. The second time we watched it, I liked it a lot more, but the more I thought about it, there were just more things that kind of upset me, to where, as a standalone, I'm not sure how I feel about it. It could be really good if they add, like, a prequel, or if they add just more movies on top of it.
Yeah.
But just as it sits now, like, the Penguin, played by Colin Farrell, the makeup was amazing. You could not tell that was Colin Farrell at all. Like, you could not tell.
Yeah.
But the whole thing with Colin Farrell and him being the Penguin, there was no reason for the Penguin to be in the movie. First, just as a general rule in movies, I don't like it when they're 3 hours. I think that no movie should be 3 hours. And to me, taking out the Penguin would have been a really good way to cut back that time. But I see how, like, in a sequel, how Penguin could then turn to like the next villain. It could work. Just as a standalone, I don't know why he was in this movie. Like, he didn't serve any purpose.
I think maybe to that point of Batman and everyone else is still new, maybe Penguin is still new too, because I think in the comics too, he did kind of start off as just like, he wasn't this main guy. He helped what's the guy's name?
Falcone.
He
was
out.
the right-hand man.
And then he became his own big person. So I think while it's showing the buildup of Batman and the Riddler and whoever else, it showed a little bit of buildup for Penguin too.
Which will hopefully that'll lead to a less lengthy sequel, because we will have already had that backstory.
Hopefully, but just the whole thing was like, I feel like the whole reason why they added the Penguin was just that way they could, like, oh, we need a club or something to show, like, how the cops and the whole system is corrupt. Oh, we'll be the Penguins Club. Oh, we need a cool chase scene. Oh, we'll chase the Penguin. It didn't, but in just, like, I did not like Colin Farrell did a great job. I'm not knocking Colin Farrell. I don't understand why the Penguin was in this movie, and the fact that it was 3 hours long, they didn't need him. I have more stuff, but just that's the main thing to where I'm like, I don't understand why they did so much with the Penguin in this movie. It's like, oh, it has the Penguin. The whole movie focuses on like the Riddler and Catwoman and Batman and stuff. I'm like, but I don't understand what purpose the Penguin served other than just to maybe set up for a potential sequel.
I totally see that. Like,
that's what I thought at first too, honestly. That was my thought process.
Like, when you think about it objectively, like you're saying, like he didn't need to be in the movie. He wasn't necessarily a key character. I would agree that they gave him some scenes in the movie, for instance, when he was giving up that information. Information, quote unquote. He helped them solve that riddle to show them how bad of detectives they were, which I'll get into later. But like, yeah, he didn't have to be there. But the main thing I took away from this movie, and what I'd mentioned before, is that this is a story that's been told so many times, and the way that you make it different is that you set it up in a way that no one else has ever seen. And I like the way that they did it with setting up for future prequels and sequels, because it adds to like a different flavor of DC not DC, Batman, that I've personally never seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just
This was more. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, I was just real quick. Like, this was more of like a detective, like whodunit type movie. Than
I liked that
superhero.
part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
That
'Cause
was
that
like
was
you're
different.
saying. Yeah, completely different take on Batman. We've never seen that before.
We've never seen it, but in the comics, like that's kind of his
him.
role,
Right.
Yeah, and it's kind of odd that he's never had that role in any of these movies with none of the Batmans. Like he's trying to solve these crimes. That's really cool.
I like the detail of realism they brought to it, as if some real guy was trying to do this. Like his suit, the way it's built is very tactical, very realistic. The way he built his Batmobile to basically be like a souped up muscle car.
Oh, yeah.
With like a jet engine in the back of it. I
Yeah.
freaking loved that
Yeah.
car chase scene.
Yeah, I do want to say, like,
Yes.
I did like the movie overall. The main reason why I'm bringing up the negatives is just because, one, almost like a devil's advocate thing, and two, just there's already enough positives going around.
Yeah,
That's
you
fair.
Need to
That's
knock
fair.
it down a little.
Yeah, I need to knock it down a little
And
bit.
let's talk about it, because I think it bothered you and I the most.
Oh, yeah.
The car scene. I mean, let's talk about this. That man started up that jet-sounding engine that he hand-built, that you could see. They showed you in the garage. He hand-built. He starts that thing up later in the movie, and you're just ready. You're like, oh, it's about to
It's
go
an
down.
amazing setup. Phenomenal
Amazing.
setup.
Perfect build up. I mean, you're just absolutely ready for this thing to take off and try to run over Penguin. And all of a sudden, vroom, vroom, skirt, nothing happens. He moved like 6 inches. What was that about? No one acknowledged that. No one's been talking about
okay.
it. Like, there's no reason for it.
I think it was kind of like like one of those, like one of those like
I agree with that.
I'm about to freaking come after you. It was like
Yeah.
that. It had all the power, and it's like whoa. Like
okay,
that.
okay,
That's
listen.
what it was.
You know what? You saying that, I could see that.
Yeah.
But
The
the
execution,
cinematography that they used to convey that, god awful. God awful. Because me and
Okay.
him, we all watched it twice and we still didn't understand.
I don't know why they.
I'm glad you picked that up.
No, I was gonna say. Besides that, it was a beautifully looking movie, beautifully done.
Yeah.
The way
That
that
scene
all
was
the
the
scenes,
best.
like the way the movie even ended, it was very artistic. Like when they were all
was.
walking out of the water. Yeah,
a masterpiece.
I thought it was
Yeah, but-
nice.
Something little that I liked is when Batman first was shown in the movie. That was one of the like coolest like entrances of Batman in a movie I think we've seen. Because at the beginning it was like, you know, he was talking about how like he uses like the light in the sky for fear. And so they look into the shadows and he's not really there.
Yeah.
It's just a fear tactic. And so it shows it once, nothing happens, and the criminal, like, you know, he gets caught. Shows it again, same thing happens. He's like looking for Batman in the shadows, not there. Well, that finally the third time, you can just hear the coming down the tunnel, and it just slowly gets louder, and like boom, there he is.
Yeah.
And then he just beats the mess out of this guy.
Which really sets the tone for the
Right.
whole movie, because the iconic line is "I'm Batman," but no, this one's like "I'm vengeance."
Yeah.
said-
I'm here to mess you up.
I mean, I'm fairly confident he said "I'm vengeance," or the word "vengeance" appears a lot more in the movie than Batman.
Yeah, it
He
does.
Even though
gets
it's called
called.
Batman.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's something that I want to mention. I saw this as like a criticism, but maybe there's something to it or whatever. Like throughout the movie, obviously he said he was vengeance. That's the only time he said that. But like everyone's calling him vengeance. Penguin calls him vengeance. Maybe Catwoman. I don't know. A bunch of other people start calling him that. So I don't know if that's like word kind of got around about the guy and that he said that, because like was that like the Joker? That
Could
group?
be what happened prior. Maybe he
And that
went
got
too
out.
far,
This is what I've been saying.
and
like-
it messed him up how far he
Right.
almost went.
And
This is-
people were kind of saying like, oh, well, they didn't explain why people are just calling him Vengeance, but I don't know. It's
This
one
is
of
what
the-
I'm saying is I think there was stuff that happened right before this movie that messed Batman and Bruce Wayne up. And I
Yeah.
think it was the Joker. Because we see at the very end he's talking to Joker
Yeah.
and Joker's talking about, a comeback story
Riddler's
with the
talking
Riddler.
to- Yeah.
Yeah. And the Joker, he messes people up.
Yeah.
And so I think he not only messed Batman up, he messed Bruce Wayne up bad. Because he's only in year 2.
Harley Quinn is a fine example. He messed up Harley Quinn. That
Yeah.
was his therapist.
Yep.
How does he do that?
And to only be in the first couple years and to be confronted with Joker, that'll take a toll on you.
That's
And
really early.
Another thing with this movie, I feel like the directors and the writers coming into this knew that the way that this had to be frameworked was a necessary evil to set up a legendary franchise. I feel like this is the framework or the foundation for possibly something amazing to come forth.
If they do it right.
If they do it right, because like what you had talked about, what could have possibly happened before with Joker, we don't know anything about that, but there's obviously something there. They got so many small key details right too. Just thinking about like, for instance, the what do you call it? The bat signal. I mean, that was a piece of carved out
metal.
shrapnel
Yeah.
that he threw over a stage light or a searchlight, and whereas in the
the Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight
It was all
movies-
just like perfectly laid out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was really to show, and I know we watched that video explaining this, but it was really to show that like he's in the early stages. But all that to say, like, I am all for this, man. Guys,
Yeah.
if you do this right, it's gonna be legendary.
I also liked how they showed that it was in the early stages because usually he's depicted as the world's greatest detective, but you see him make several
Messed up.
mistakes throughout this entire movie to where it shows that him and Jim Gordon really aren't the greatest detectives yet.
I mean,
Terrible.
They wouldn't have caught the Riddler if he wouldn't have given himself up. He gave
Yeah.
himself up. They would not have caught
Right.
the Riddler at
Nope.
all.
But I mean, they were trying, which goes back to my point about realism. Like if somebody were actually to try and do this, but you still see him compete. Like when the guy had the phone strapped to him and the bomb on him, Batman is still witty enough to solve his riddles, but not the entire picture.
Did y'all guess any of those?
No.
Like
No.
I
Kind
couldn't-
of.
I couldn't get him. And Batman, like it kind of showed like he's got some talent,
Yeah.
But obviously, like you said, he's not perfect.
Which
He's
is
not
comic accurate.
Yeah.
By the way, he's always been able to figure out his riddles.
Another thing, and I know I just mentioned this, but I'm gonna bring it up again. Setting up the whole prequel thing possibility. All I gotta say is, if y'all don't set up a prequel, y'all did something wrong already. But that being said, I hated the Alfred and Bruce Wayne relationship. Hated it.
I disagree, but I want to hear your point first. I have some thoughts on that.
Are you serious? Oh my gosh, Bruce Wayne treated Alfred like he was a
Just
butt.
terrible, yeah.
Like just the worst guy ever. Like Evan, I feel like you would agree.
Yeah, no, when it comes to that, like, I don't like how he treated him, but I kind of, like, I don't know how I feel about the whole Batman, Bruce Wayne, Alfred thing, because Robert Pattinson played, I mean, this was already brought up earlier, but Robert Pattinson played Batman and Bruce Wayne like the exact same person and character. He
Yeah.
didn't even pretend to be someone else, which is just very different.
Well, I think
And
it was on purpose.
No, I get that it was on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, I mean, that's not against Robert Pattinson. That's just, like, I don't know yet how I feel about that. Again, that's where a future movie is where I'll look back and be like, oh, that was so well played, or that was great. Or I'll look at the next movie and be like, why the heck did he act like that? Because it's just very different. And it's the same way with how he reacts to Alfred. Just, I don't know how, it's very different. And I give him credit for trying something new. Just, I don't know how I feel about it.
Well, my thought on that whole dynamic, I didn't like it either. I've always viewed them as very tight knit, like
Yeah,
he's
like
his
a father figure.
yeah,
It's like
father figure,
yeah,
his guy in
yeah.
the chair. But I think he actually played a stronger father figure in this movie than in previous movies, because I got like a really just moody teenager vibes when he was just Bruce
Yeah.
Wayne. Like he's just like not wearing fitting clothes. He's awkward. He doesn't want to go out in public. He's all moody, and honestly
Wussified.
he treats Alfred like a 14-year-old teenager would treat his father.
Yeah.
And
also said
he didn't
something-
have a lot of respect for him, and with like the cufflinks and all that, and he handed it to him. And he's like, you need to wear these. He's like, are you a Wayne too? It's just like so much angst. And he's like, yeah, well, your father gave those to me. But towards the end of the movie, as it goes on, and he finds out more about his dad and his story, and like the role and the real burden that Alfred took on when his parents passed, I think at that point he gained the respect, and that's the beginning of the strong relationship that we will go to see. This whole movie is just a big giant hook to pull you into this universe they're building.
Right.
I would think so too, but they didn't confirm that in the movie.
What are you doing?
Oh,
with your hands?
they're gonna do another one.
I'm sure they didn't confirm it in the first Marvel Universe movie either.
No. Well, they almost
Iron
did.
Man
but-
1.
Look, what I was gonna say, like, I thought that this was really cool. That like the relationship, I actually found it really interesting because, like, in the Batcave, he says something like, "You're not my father" or whatever, and Alfred says something like, "Oh, I'm well aware" or something like
Yeah,
that.
like
I
that's
know.
come up.
like because it shows like he brings this up all the time. So it shows like obviously it hurts Alfred because he feels like he can't be the father he needs, and he's also trying to be his father and protect what his father was and all that stuff. But towards the end, like you said, you kind of see like the relationship kind of grow, especially in the hospital when he almost died.
Yeah, it
Like,
changes.
it changes.
And
his
then Bruce
perspective.
actually realizes, oh man, I almost lost Alfred, the one guy that was there for me when everything went away.
And he learned more about Alfred and his father.
Yeah,
and that, so
which he really gained a lot of respect for him at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
So like that's
I
what I
liked
was saying. I think that's when the dynamic shifts.
yeah.
Something I'm really excited about too. It doesn't have to do with this movie, but the Flashpoint movie. I'm so excited for that because
I don't know what they're gonna do with it though.
I don't. But Michael Keaton's Batman is coming back after. How long has it been?
Like 30 years.
Like
Yeah.
30 years.
If not more like 40.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that it is confirmed.
Oh, it is
that he's-
confirmed.
It is.
Look, I'll just look up
well,
the
Because they've
cast.
talked
Tom
about
Brady
it.
also retired.
Shut up.
For those of you who
Well,
don't know,
they've
Schnoz
talked
hates Tom
about
Brady.
it so many times. They've talked about. I don't know. Do you guys know the original Flashpoint story?
Not even a little
Well,
bit.
basically, it was kind of meant as a reset for DC Comics when their stories were kind of getting bland and they had like a million origin stories, but they wanted to merge it together. So they did this Flashpoint thing where Barry went back in time. Oh, yeah, confirmed. Well, that's Gurgle. Who knows where they're getting that source from?
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Oh, well, it might as well be confirmed. But anyway, Barry goes back in time to save his mom, but then he messes up the whole future when he comes back. But he can't ever get it back to that right point. So in messing that point up, when he goes back to unsave his mom, he creates the Flashpoint paradox. And I'm not telling that story perfectly well, but that's basically what happens. So it reset the whole DC Comics universe to what was called the New 52. And that's kind of what I hope they're going to try and fix with their movie, because the DCEU is just a huge mess at this point.
They have a way out.
They have
And
a way
this
out.
Could be it.
But even in the comics, when they did it, they messed it up. And since that point, they've done another revamp. So I'm hoping that they've learned. They probably haven't, because movies always deviate. Even Marvel's guilty of this. But I hope that they're going to take this opportunity to reset what they have, take the characters that are still willing to play the role, and go from there.
Yeah. I mean, this Batman movie, who was it made by? Was it
forget
Warner
his name.
Brothers? Was it? I don't know.
I thought it was
don't
Warner
know.
Brothers. You wanna look that
Because, sure.
Who
I mean,
did the Joker movie?
yeah, it was the same as a Joker movie.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix. I can't remember
I
who
mean,
it was
yeah,
made by.
he was the Joker.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering if it's ever possible for, like the Joker and this Batman and the Flash and whatever to be all in the same universe. Because we would never thought it was going to happen with Spider-Man. And it did.
And it did. Spoiler, but I mean,
Yeah. And Michael Keaton coming back.
oh, that'd be awesome.
Oh, I mean, you can watch the trailer. And like at the very end of the Flashpoint trailer,
Yeah.
there's the Batman's head is seen. That's Michael Keaton's Batman.
I forgot about that.
It looks, if it's not Michael Keaton's Batman, they made just like a doppelganger of it. It looks exactly like it. It's just the back of his head, but
It says Warner Bros.
Warner Bros.
Yeah.
See, with this Flashpoint movie, I think they're taking more of a multiverse approach rather than a time travel timeline fix approach.
Yeah.
So maybe he travels back or travels over to Michael Keaton's universe or something.
I've seen apparently in Flashpoint Ben Affleck might be in it too.
Yeah, I've seen reports of that. Honestly, by the time the Flashpoint movie comes out and everything's said and done, I don't know if Ben Affleck's going to want to play this character.
I don't want him to play Batman.
I don't
Okay.
think anyone wants him to play Batman.
Nobody does. I think he's overhated, to be honest. I think he played an okay part. I don't think he was written very well,
Yeah.
but I have nothing against the actor playing it.
I
never
think
saw
those
any of it.
movies were bad. Like Batman versus
Superman. The
Awful.
extended director's cut helped it make a lot more sense.
Yes, that's true.
That's been the big problem is too much studio overhead with that whole DCEU, and obviously that first Justice League movie was terrible, which is why they wanted the original vision of it from Snyder. So yeah, I think if they can just get rid of the overhead and be able to tell the story and put the main focus on that, like they did with this Batman movie, they can't really because it's separate studios, I believe, but there
hopefully
can be
they'll pay
deals
attention.
made.
Yeah.
I just realized that we kind of moved past something with the Batman movie. The soundtrack. How amazing was that soundtrack?
So good.
So good.
Like like your thing, like we've been just playing that song, the main theme on repeat.
Something in the Way by Nirvana.
It's funny how it kind of lines up with things that are happening in the movie, and it was amazing.
Not only that, I feel like it's really hard to do a soundtrack for a movie after Hans Zimmer already did it. If y'all didn't know, the Christian Bale Batman movies, the soundtracks were done by Hans Zimmer.
Oh, yeah.
And he's a legendary
Composer.
composer.
Yeah.
Thank you. Couldn't think of the word. But, I mean, he's done Batman. He's done some of the...
A lot of big titles.
just like a lot of stuff.
and
but
a couple other details with the movie is what's the song that Riddler is singing at the
Ave
end?
Maria.
Yeah.
The Riddler song is like that song, but like done in like a minor
key,
in a minor
a
key.
sadder key,
and also the same guy that did like the the Star Wars theme. No, not the Star Wars theme. The character in it. I don't watch
Darth
Star
Vader?
Wars. Darth Vader. He helped make the Batman like song in this movie, and if you listen, it sounds like very similar.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it. Yeah, something like you can listen back to it, and the start of the songs they sound very, very similar. Kind of like when they're walking through, and then that scene where like the guns are going off and Batman's fighting.
Oh my goodness.
That was a great
man.
That was
Oh,
so
wow.
cool. But there's a scene very similar to that where Darth Vader is fighting with the lightsaber.
Oh,
and it's
yeah,
dark and
They call it the hallway scene, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
that was really cool.
I loved how they did that. So
Also,
man,
as far as our viewers go, let us know what you think of the movie because I know I would love to hear your thoughts. I know everyone's got mixed opinions, so
I wouldn't mind seeing this movie again.
I honestly kind of want to see it again.
Which
I'd go
really
with you guys.
is as much hate as it might get from some. The fact that I want to see it again says something.
Well,
Exactly.
So far, it's gotten really good reviews.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes give it a 96.
that's
Rotten Tomatoes,
Wow.
they don't give good reviews.
they don't like anybody.
No.
Yeah, that's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but just from like the world population at least, like from what I've seen on social media and stuff, people are loving it.
Yes.
So
Okay. I just had one more question regarding the whole movie to where maybe I missed it and I am misunderstanding, but the more and more I thought about this, some to where I'm like, I don't know why he did it. So the Riddler and his plan, like, it all made sense to me. It all seemed like well written, well executed. I don't understand why he flooded the city. That's one thing that to this point I'm still like I get like why the movie did it. I understand why the movie did it. I don't understand why the Riddler did it, if that makes sense.
Just chaos.
Me. I don't think it was chaos. I think the reason he did it was like, so there's all these people, there's lots of corruption. He's trying to, I think, reset the city, flush it away, start it over, which is kind of what Batman's trying to do, like save the city. But the Riddler goes about it at a different approach, and that's what's interesting with the whole vengeance thing. Like, what separates them? Well, one,
Different
Riddler,
points of views.
right, and Riddler is obviously a psychopath, but it's also like his method is to destroy the city. Batman's way is to like save it or whatever.
His is a more destructive approach to the cleansing of the city and a Moses style approach.
You mean Noah?
Like literally, like a biblical
flooded.
approach to the flood.
Do you mean Noah?
What did I say?
Moses.
Oh my gosh, yes,
I
Noah.
mean,
Yeah.
Sorry.
I know what
Yeah.
you mean.
Yeah, Moses was the one that didn't get wet.
Which is kind of,
But-
which is kind of funny because at the end of the movie, you see Penguin looking over the whole flooded city. It's like, oh, that's interesting.
No, again,
Penguin,
Yeah. Like
yeah.
I got it from a movie's perspective, but just it didn't seem to me to line up exactly with the Riddler's plan because it had to do with almost like seeking revenge or his twisted version of justice by killing all the corrupt people. So just all of a sudden causing a flood. Like, I understand that then in the flood, like, they all went to that one stadium where the new mayor would get elected, and then he tried to take out the new mayor. Like, I understand that, and I get it from the movie perspective, just, I still don't fully understand why Paul Dano why he flooded the city. I understand it, but at the same time, I
It
don't,
doesn't
if
really
that makes
fit his
sense.
character.
Yeah, it didn't
of
seem
the
to fit
Riddler.
exactly. Yes, Zach?
Okay, I have a theory. And I raised my hand because I was very emphatic, which is my word of the week, about it.
Okay.
I think it has to do with the fact that the Riddler had a misconception about Batman. The fact that he thought that him and Batman were going to rule the city together and that they were going to be friends. They both had the same plan, entirely different approaches. So that being said, when he flooded the city, he knew that after Falcone was going to die and, you know, they flooded all of the hot spots for all this criminal activity, that the Riddler and Batman were going to be the new order in the city. And so after he flooded everything, him and Batman were going to take control. But that didn't work out the way he wanted to, so therefore the flood meant nothing in the end.
And can we just mention his acting was incredible? The
Dude,
Riddler,
amazing.
Because when he lost his mind, it was like you were seeing like a teenager have a mental breakdown.
I felt uncomfortable.
It was
Yes.
very awkward. You're like, no. I'm like,
Yeah. And the saran wrap thing, what the crap, dude? You remember in the movie when he would cover his head in saran wrap, and that was why all the other guys at the end of the movie did the same thing.
I don't remember that. What?
It was the whole hair follicle thing and not being caught because all the hair that falls out of your head.
Oh.
Yeah. Because remember, if you notice in like the Twitch quote unquote comments, it says, "Don't forget your saran wrap."
Yeah, I don't think he meant the face mask. I think Zach
Yeah,
meant
sorry.
like the literal hair.
Yeah.
Oh,
The fact, I keep bringing up like everyone's in this like starting thing and they're just beginning. But a lot of people had criticisms on the Riddler suit as
I love the suit.
I don't know. I didn't love it honestly.
I won't say love it. I didn't hate it.
But I mean, the Riddler's gonna get out. I mean, come on, it's just gonna happen. This isn't the end of Riddler, and I hope we see him again.
Yeah.
But the Riddler will get out, and he'll learn from his past mistakes, and then I think his suit will change with that.
Yeah, probably.
So-
Something a little more comic
And-
inspired.
Right.
Well,
But
I was gonna say like not too comic inspired because if you watch like the old Batman
The
movies,
Jim Carrey Riddler was awful.
yeah,
Oh
it's
my
so
gosh.
cringy.
Yeah.
It's like
Cringe
that's
McGee.
awful. So it's better than that. It's not like
Yes.
right out of the comics, like weird.
The whole
triangles and
reason
shit.
why I'm saying that I love the costume is because just this whole Batman was different. Like between just Batman being different with Bruce Wayne and like the whole situation with Alfred and just the whole movie is a lot more gritty and as dark as a Batman can get. And I kind of got that from his suit.
Yep.
To where it was a Riddler suit if it was really like dark and gritty, and that's why I kind of liked the different approach to it.
True.
I mean, At least that's kind of my take. Because again, overall, I do like the Batman movie a lot. Just my only main complaint is the Penguin. Like the other stuff, it's just kind of questions or preferences. The only hill I'll die on is the Penguin one. Like he did not need to be in the movie the way he was. If he was going to be in the movie, they should have changed it or done something different.
Maybe.
That's fair.
Well, if you have not seen it and you're listening to this, well, I don't know why you were listening to this. We spoiled all of it, but we're glad you did. But you should absolutely go see it anyway.
Yes,
absolutely, we like it. And yeah, I'd go see it again right now. To be honest,
very well done.
We'd find stuff again that we didn't notice the first 2 times.
Yeah.
If you have seen it, let us know what you think. Comment on whatever. But go follow us on our socials. We are working on some merch.
Yes.
Right, so let us know if you buy any merch or if you have any ideas of merch or whatever. But we really appreciate you guys watching and listening. And until next time, I always forget this. I always forget this part.
You're so.
Oh, here we go. I got it.
All right.
Ready? You want me to say it?
I think so. You forgot again, didn't you?
No. Thank you for joining us for a session of awkwardness.
Yeah.
Stay awkward, folks.